Thank you for coming. And we thought of having a little get together today before I leave tomorrow. And I must thank you all for a very nice time that I had here. I have been coming to Brisbane for last how many years? 3 years?
No. 6 years.
Huh?
6 years.
Since you, when did you hide on? 6 years.
Yes. Yes.
Time flies, huh? 6 years. Yeah. Yeah, but I was not actually spending much time. Like last couple of years or 2-3 years, probably we were going for retreat. We came to Brisbane. This is the first time we just had a seminar and spent time in Brisbane. And I must admit that I had a very nice time. Seminars are always nice because it's a systematic way of approaching something. Like, otherwise, having programs here, there, and different places, it's more of a kind of, it's nice, Krishna Katha, no doubt, but when you have organized programs like that, like seminar, it has a different effect. And that's why for last few years, I have been doing that. Like when I go to some place, we make it a point to have a retreat. Often we have retreats, especially in 3-4 places we have been having retreats. Like Europe, I have a retreat every year. America, I have at least one retreat every year. Then South Africa, I have one retreat. In India, I have one retreat. These are the 4 fixed retreats. And in Australia also, the last couple of years, we have been having retreats in Sunshine Coast.
Sunshine Coast. But Brahma did a seminar here as well, 4 years ago. So the community at the temple and Siksashtika.
Okay. Was it 2 days?
3 days seminar, 3 nights seminar.
Oh, that's right. In the evening, I remember. Yeah, but I think this seminar was more, what should I say, more like a seminar.
Yes.
I mean, although sometimes we do that in the temples, we have seminars in the evening, but it's more casual, right? It doesn't, but when we have seminars like the way we had here, that is more serious. And how did you like the seminar? Was it up to your expectation? Yeah. The main point is that was the understanding, was the subject dealt with properly? Did you think it was worthwhile?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada actually always wanted that. Prabhupada wanted that we study different aspects of Krishna consciousness in a systematic and in-depth. Actually, we started this kind of systematic approach to different topics in 1987 in Vrindavan. That we opened the VIH, Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education. Jayadita Maharaj, Purijan Prabhu, like few of us, we started that. And that used to be a month long. I remember Jayadita Maharaj gave the seminar on clear thinking and effective speaking, something. Purijan Prabhu gave a seminar on, writing it's about writing. Jayadita Maharaj gave on clear thinking and effective speaking. Purijan Prabhu gave the seminar on writing. Tamal Krishna Maharaj gave the seminar on nectar devotion. And I gave the seminar on Vaishnava etiquette. And those days, every year, during Kartik, we used to just spend 1 whole month in And then 1988 also I gave Vaishnava etiquette. And then one day I was telling Tamal Krishna Maharaj, like already I gave the Vaishnava etiquette course for 1 month. And although it was a new set of students next year, but the topic was the same. So I was feeling a little bored. Like, I found it a bit boring that I told him that I was, repeating the same topic, because Vaishnava etiquette, I selected the aspects of Vaishnava etiquette from Hari Bhakti Vilas. So that's the time Tavakrishna Maharaj gave me the idea that why, like you have access to all these scriptures that haven't been translated. So why don't you give some seminar on things that devotees don't have access to, but very, very important for us. So according to his suggestion, in 89 I gave a seminar on Brihad Bhagavatam. Like that will, the 1 month I spoke in Brihad Bhagavatam. And that's a wonderful book. And since then, that book became very popular. Like I remember, the main person of Brihad Bhagavatam is actually Kumar. And Hansaduta, I don't know whether you know him. Hansaduta, he was a leader from very important, very powerful leader. He started to call me Kumar. And he sat through him and Tamal Krishna Maharaj sat through the whole seminar. Because it's a story. In a way, the whole thing. Brihad Bhagavatamritam is actually the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, presented in a story form. Like the first part of Brihad Bhagavatamritam is Narada Muni's search of the best devotee, the greatest devotee, dearmost devotee. And he goes in his search, the highest, greatest devotee. And the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamritam is the description of a cowherd boy, Gop Kumar, his journey back to the spiritual sky, Golok. And through that, he is giving us a very clear understanding of the spiritual world and material world. What the material is gradually elevating from one level to another, earth planet to heavenly planet. then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. Then beyond that is the material covering of the universe. Beyond the covering of the universe is Brahma Jyoti. Then beyond that he is coming to the abode of Lord Shiva, Maheshwara. Then the Vaikuntha Loka. Then Ayodhya, abode of Lord Ramchandra, Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan. In a story form, Sanatana Goswami gave such a brilliant understanding of the geography of the spiritual sky. So these topics are actually very interesting. So that's what I'm doing next. Right now we are having this consideration of different topics like you're telling me that I selected the topic that the other day you mentioned
We
happiness simplified. I selected.
Well, we came with a few choices, Grandma. We thought
Okay.
this one might attract some people away from Christmas.
Okay. Oh, right. That's too nice. There's so many beautiful topics. Like there are so many amazing books. Just like, for example, Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is another book which is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. What Bhagavatam is? Revealing. Bhagavatam is revealing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. As Prabhupada puts it, Samam Bodham. The ultimate consideration is Samam. The cause of all causes. The Supreme Personality. Why the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That has been revealed in Brahma Samhita. Why Krishna is the Supreme Personality? We know the incarnations, different incarnations are there. What's the difference between incarnations and Krishna? Is Krishna an incarnation? No. Krishna is the origin of all incarnations. And Brahma Samhita is describing that Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamena Tushmi. Different incarnations like Ram, Nrishinga, Varaha, Kurma, Ramadi Murtishu. Kalaniyamena Tishtan. They are parts and parts and parts. But Krishna's to Bhagavan's life. As Bhagavatam is pointing, that is being clarified. Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamena Tishtan. Nanavataram akarad bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat param. Then what is the relationship between Krishna and Lord Shiva? Like there are many misconceptions flying. Maybe not so much here, but I'm sure it's happening in the Indian community here also. Shiva is the greatest. Some people think that Shiva Lord Shiva. And so it's giving the understanding that what's the relationship between Lord Shiva and Krishna? Kshirang jatha dadhi vikara visesvati. Just as milk turns into yogurt. Similarly, Krishna has been transformed, Krishna has transformed himself into Lord Shiva in order to achieve some very special purpose, very special mission. Shriram Jatha Dadhivikara Visheshudoga Sanjaya ke Vahi Kata Prithavasti. So, what is the relationship between Durga and Krishna? Some people are they think that Durga is the artist. So the understanding is given that Maya hi jasya jagadanda satadi sita Traigunda tadvishayali vaitaya. So, the manifestation of its material nature is a product of his external nature. And that is external Krishna, external Maya. Jagadanda Satami Sute, who is giving rise to innumerable universes. Jagadanda. Jagadanda means Brahmanda means universe. What is the difference? What is the relationship between Krishna and Ganesh? Some people think Ganesh is the one. They worship the one. Jat Pada Pallava Julam Jininhari. Holding the lotus feet of Krishna on his head, Ganesh has acquired the power of removing the impediments of the three worlds. So by the time just you understood these few verses, 27, 28 verses of Brahma Samhita, we have a total understanding of who is Krishna and who is everybody else. Why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. You may say that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but what is his relationship with Krishna? And through that light, you see who is who. So important and so enlightening and so educational. Another subject is actually Madhurya Kadambini by Viswanath Chakravarti, giving us the understanding of different aspects of elevation of devotional service, practice of devotional service, how it's coming to from Shraddha to praise. Actually, that is one of the first seminars I gave on Madhurya Kadambini. That I gave in Belgium. I used to be involved in Belgium as a GBC, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg. And we gave a seminar on Madhurya Kadambini. The title of the Madhurya Kadambini was From Shraddha to Praise. You know, the devotional life begins with Shraddha, Adu Shraddha. And what is the final point of devotional service? So all these topics are very, very wonderful. Our acharyas, our previous acharyas have presented Krishna consciousness in such a brilliant way. We simply have to follow their footsteps. What they have given, we simply have to assimilate it. We simply have to have access to it and enrich ourselves. And these informations are very important for our own spiritual growth. Otherwise, it's so easy to become stagnant in our spiritual life. Personally, I feel that as a sannyasi, as a leader of ISKCON, I have a responsibility to help the devotees in this spiritual life. And that's why I just feel like giving this class in a systematic way in the form of seminars. The retreats have another charm. Retreats, what we do is we go away to some other place, away from home, away from everything, where we live for 6-7 days. And we have our spiritual programs. We generally book some hotel. Like I'll tell you the way we did things like retreats. One of the first retreats I did was in Switzerland, in Swiss Alps. Now, in Swiss Alps, there are skiing resorts. But in summertime, nobody goes skiing. So those resorts are empty. So we take over one whole hotel and we just turn that hotel into an ashram. ISKCON ashram. Like we get between 100 to 250 devotees, depending on where you get. So that's what we did in Swiss Alps. Like, just to give you an idea, that is the place where the road ends in the mountain. And from there, the only mode of transport is actually the cable car. And with the cable cars, they up on top of the mountain and come down with the skis, generally. And And it is actually beyond what's it called? Glacier Point. Like it's, I mean, you walk. It's middle of the summer actually, bright sunshine, but you see snow. Like it's snow doesn't melt below above. That's the glacier point, I think. Like above that point, the snow stays throughout the year. And it is something like that. We'd go for a walk. We used to go out for, and have a picnic, and we're surrounded by ice, and you're having a picnic sitting there. Like, it was very beautiful, and uh, then uh, then we had one thing, and similarly we had one in in America in a place called Vail. Vail is in the Colorado Mountains. You have to go there from Denver, go up. That's also another skiing resort. And we had it, like we took over one hotel, and it became ashram. It's not ashram. Like the banquet hall was our temple room. The dining hall was, of course, dining. We were just discussing. Anyone went to Vail or none of you didn't go? We are just talking about South Africa. In South Africa also we go to we do our retreat in a place called Drakensberg. Drakensberg is the mountain there, and there it's one of the best resorts, and it's a golf resort actually, set up by one champion tennis player. And it's a golf resort, very fine, very nice. Anyway, so the advantage with that is everyone is away from home in a completely different environment. And we generally stay for 5 days in these. And you are transported to another world. And it's so important, many of the householders actually mention that it has been so enlivening for them to be in a situation like that. Because most of the householders don't really get a chance to experience the ashram life. But this way, they had an ashram life, but at a very nice environment. And you know what was our last retreat? Last one was actually a cruise. And it started from London. London's port is Southampton. And it was a 9-day thing. Southampton to Amsterdam. Actually, it's very nice. Like the ship moves at night and touches the port in the morning. And we spend the whole day in the port, and in the evening we go. So what we are doing, like we went to, the first port was Amsterdam. And we were about 230, not about, there were total 230 members. The capacity of the cruise was actually 1700. It was packed. The whole thing, it was ocean liner, 12-story ocean liner. And it had everything in it. And many of them were actually concerned that Maya will be so strong, right? Casinos, bars, discotheques. But we actually transported the whole thing into completely spiritualized. Like the devotee used to tell me that they were a little worried at the beginning, but after they came, like that Maic influence or Maic allurements had no effect because the programs were so enlightening. And then so when we went to the city, Amsterdam, we had a Harinam. And there were 300, or more than 300 actually. From the ship, there were about 230, and another 100 devotees came to join us. And that was the case everywhere, wherever we went. We had about 200, and another 100 came and joined us, and 300 people Harinam. Like they told me that they never ever experienced anything like that. Then after that we went to Spain. That was a long trip, like one whole day we actually traveled. Whole day, 1 night, 2 nights and 1 day. And we came to Spain in a place called Santiago de Compostela. It is considered to be the third largest, third most important place of pilgrimage for the Christians. Jerusalem, Vatican, and Compostela is, and Santiago de Compostela. And the devotees from Spain actually, they worked from before. And they had the deputy mayor to receive us when we touched the port. And we were taken to the cathedral there, beautiful cathedral. And I think that was the place where Saint Joseph or Saint Paul were buried. Compostela. And there also, it's a very old city, very old Spanish city. Like, of course, in front of the cathedral, there was a huge area. So we started our Harinam. But then the roads are very narrow and pedestrian, cobbled roads. And it was, can you imagine narrow cobbled roads and 300 devotees? And they were really resounding with the Harinam. And then after that we went to Bilbao, that's also in Spain. Then we went to a place called La Rochelle in France. And all these places, they never sent devotees before. We never had any. And all of a sudden they see 300 devotees coming up. Like by the time we went to Bilbao, people of Bilbao actually got to know about us already. When they saw us, they said that we saw you yesterday in the TV. Because the TV carried that. And the newspapers also carried it. It was a big news that we all went there. So it was very nice. The devotees, because it was the first time, the response was not that big. And even for this one, people flew from Singapore. People flew in from America to participate. So Krishna consciousness should be exciting. At the same time, enriching, enlivening. Anyway, I must admit that in here also I have a very nice achievement in the last 3 days. Some devotees were telling that the participation was not that much because of Krishna. But I don't care about that. The number doesn't matter now. At least we learned from Srila Prabhupada. Even if there's one person who's sincere about hearing, we are prepared to spend all. How many came is not how receptive they are. That is it. So this evening, you have been hearing me the last so many days, so I don't want to talk too much. Actually, this evening I invited you all for pizza. Pizza and ice cream. Do you like the idea?
I think the kids are like that.
Huh?
The kids are like,
What about the grown-ups? Yeah, kids. Yeah, especially ice cream. Is it ready? How long will it take?
We won't. With some of our topics then in the future,
Yeah.
would you like us to look specifically at some of these literatures like Chakravarti?
I think that's better, like it's kind of presenting it according to the presentation of the Acharya. They have, given the form. Anyway, there's so many. Like as I said, like next month I'll be giving a seminar in Surat on Brahma Samhita. Then recently, just before coming to Australia, I gave a seminar in Calcutta. The topic was, in Bengali, it was Avatar Shar, Gora Avatar. The essence of all incarnations, Sri Chaitanya.
Gurmaj, I have a question. I have a question relating to what Gurmaj said. Gurmaj mentioned that Krishna, Shtu Bhagavan Swami, Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So the original personality of Godhead is only reserved for Krishna alone. But as I was reading Canto 1, and I was surprised to notice that in one of the purpose Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the original personality of Godhead. And I thought, how is that possible?
There is no difference when energy and energetic are together. Then it's Chaitanya. When energy and energetic are separate, then it's Radha Krishna.
But the original personality from
Both
are
original. See, energy, energetic,
yes, Gurmaj.
they're one at the same time.
Yes, Gurmaj.
When they become different, energy and energetic become separate.
Radha Krishna.
Radha Krishna. When they become together, Sri Radha.
You mentioned in the seminar today that our line are followers of Radharani. And we also know that in the spiritual sky, there is also Golok, Navadeep. So, obviously, it's very premature for us to think about our Swarup and so on. But as part of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON, which we know exists in the spiritual sky, should we presume we're part of Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan there?
Yeah, sure. In Golok Navadeep, that's what they're doing. Relishing Naam, relishing the singing the glory of Krishna. Krishna's pastimes are there, but Krishna's description of Krishna's pastimes are even more exciting.
What do you recommend to the early disciples of the Maharshi Maharaj? So what do you recommend to us devotees who's to the master left the planet? Should we take shelter of our uncles?
Sure, why not? You see, not only the uncle, what about the grandfather? Srila Prabhupada created ISKCON for us so that we have the perfect situation to practice our spirituality. So that's the arrangement. Wherever we go, do we have devotee association? Wherever we go, don't we have the facility to chant the holy name in the association of devotees? Wherever we go, don't we have that facility to worship the Lord? So this is Prabhupada's divine arrangement. Like, just consider, like, if I was a devotee and ISKCON was not there, and I came to Brisbane, what would be my situation? What would be very, very difficult. Now, we can extend it to all of us. Right? Say you are a devotee. If ISKCON was not here, what would have happened? But see, this is Prabhupada's mentality. Because of ISKCON, wherever you are perfectly situated. Okay, that's one consideration. The other consideration, as you yourself mentioned, when the spiritual master leaves the planet, what should his disciples do? Yes, the family is there. Right? The father may have left, but the entire family is there. The uncles are there, cousins are there, brothers are there, sisters are there. So, so this is the family of ISKCON that we are never alone here. And the third and the most important consideration here is that never think that your spiritual master left. Your spiritual master is always there. The spiritual master is present in two ways: Vapu and Vani. Physical form and spiritual instruction. Vapu is important at some stage. But the Vapu will not be there forever. The real aspect of spiritual master is his instruction. And in his instruction, the spiritual master is always present. Like when you're following your spiritual master's instruction, you are with your spiritual master. So that's why the Vani, serving the Vani, is the real way to serve the spiritual master. So, and whichever way you look at it, you're perfectly situated. It's only a matter of taking full advantage of that wonderful opportunity. And, then someday, if we become eligible to enter into the spiritual world, then we'll be with the spiritual master again. So this is how the spiritual master actually allures us by disappearing. Come to the spiritual world. Become serious. That's why, Vani in aspect is so important. Otherwise, we have seen that so many devotees who had such good opportunity of serving Srila Prabhupada's Vapu, they personally serve Srila Prabhupada. But where are they today? They left. Why they left? Because they didn't see the Vani aspect of life. When the Vapu aspect disappeared, their spiritual life came to an end. Therefore, the Vani aspect is so important, because when you pursue the Vani aspect, when you serve the Vani aspect of the spiritual master, then you become qualified to enter into the spiritual. Any other question? Yes?
Hiranyakashipur and Hiranyakash. His brother was killed by war incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to take advantage of the death of his brother, he performed severe austerities for 100 years. And he got benediction from Lord Brahma. My question is, even Narada Muni came under his control. Somehow this aspect I can't digest. So the other day I was here.
Narada Muni came under his control.
Narada Muni was also serving him, because he was being served by all demigods, when he went to Mahendra, heavenly planet, because he was the king of all three planets. The other day I was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni Maharaj, and he was explaining how Narada Muni is explaining to Maharaj Yudhishthira, even I was serving Hiranyakashipu.
That is a humble statement. It's not that you are serving. Rather, we can find that Narada Muni was giving protection to his wife. Your devotees may serve somebody, that doesn't mean. That doesn't mean that he was massaging his feet. Like he may say that way, even I was subservient because he was ruling over the whole thing. But Narada Muni was not, serving him because she could that. He was, you see, Narada Muni is like a pure devotee, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu. He is like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is also equal to everyone. In his eyes, everyone is equal. Like Narada Muni used to go to Kamsa.
Yes.
And give him advice. Don't trust them. But why he was doing that? By accelerating Krishna's appearance. Like 8 suns, counting backwards or counting forward. Like if you count it this way, then probably this will be 8. Don't take a chance. So Narada Muni telling, people will think, what's happening? Narada Muni is becoming the cause of the death of his children. But Narada Muni has a higher purpose. Let Krishna come quickly. And Narada Muni did not do it himself. The demigods requested him that please, let Krishna come quickly. And because if the child survived, then the mother would take a few years to conceive the next child. But if the child is gone, then she will conceive quickly. So that's why the demigods requested Narada. Then Narada Muni, but at the same time Narada Muni also protected the devotee. Like Kamsa was about to kill Vasudeva, Krishna's father. You see what happened when Keshi was killed, then Krishna was whirling Keshi's body and he threw, and Keshi's body landed right in front of Kamsa. Kamsa at first could figure out what happened. Because his body just became a lump of flesh and bone. So it was just a lump of flesh and bone. But when he realized it was Keshi, he became so afraid that he stares to them. Now seeing that, Vasudeva started just smiling. And then Kamsa noticed that Vasudeva was delighted. So he said that here is my enemy. Seeing my distress, he is delighted. So he pulled out his sword, killed him. At that time, Narada Muni came and told him, look, by killing him, what did you gain? Your enemy is not me, Vasudeva. Your enemy is actually Krishna. Right? If you kill Vasudeva, then Krishna will be even more upset. So Radha tried to kill Krishna, not Vasudeva. And he gave him the advice. You know what advice he gave him? He said, look, Kamsa, your problem is that you have been sending one by one. And Krishna is killing. Like when the enemy is so strong, then gather all your strength together and attack. Right? Because if he's too strong, then just don't send one after another, one of your associates after another. Like get all your associates together and attack. So that's how we actually got the idea of inviting Krishna to a death village and invite all his allies so that Krishna will come, will surround him. And that's why people sometimes can't understand Narada Muni. They think, what's the problem with him? Right. But only devotees, due to proper spiritual understanding, can do this. Where is Vijay Mukunda? So, it says that he just gave me the news. I just asked whether pizza was ready. He says pizza will take a little time, but pasta is ready. It's better to have pizza and pasta together. And so we can have a little kirtan. And Vijay Mukunda, is he using all 3